Liam had never felt so tired. Months of preparation, long hours of training, and endless briefings had led him to this moment, standing on the outer rim of a research station orbiting a massive gas giant. The station was a marvel of human engineering, suspended in the dark silence of space, its lights blinking like stars against the blackness. Yet tonight, as exhaustion weighed on him, the station felt unusually quiet, almost too still. He rubbed his eyes and tried to shake off the fatigue. The corridors were empty. Most of the crew had retired to their quarters hours ago. Liam had been assigned to inventory the experimental sections, areas rarely visited by anyone. His task was routine, but tonight something about the quiet made him uneasy. He turned a corner and paused in front of a door he had never noticed before. The panel next to it glowed faintly, but it was unmarked, no label or warning. Usually, restricted areas were clearly labeled with access codes and alarms. Curiosity nudged him forward. Just a small peek, he told himself. It would not hurt. The door slid open smoothly at his touch. The room beyond was bathed in a soft, almost ethereal light, shifting gently from green to blue and back again. Liam stepped inside, his boots making no sound on the polished floor. At first, he saw only sleek equipment, floating screens displaying data he could not understand, and strange, delicate instruments he had never encountered before. Then he saw her. She stood in the center of the room, tall and graceful, her figure shimmering as if light passed through her in strange ways. Her skin was not human, yet it was beautiful in its own right, almost translucent with hints of color moving beneath it. Her eyes were large, deep, and intelligent, and for a moment Liam forgot to breathe. He froze. His mind raced. He had entered a restricted area. He had stumbled into something he was not supposed to see. And yet, she did not move toward him, nor did she speak in a voice he could hear. She simply looked at him, studying him. There was no anger in her gaze, no sign that he was about to be thrown out or captured. Instead, there was curiosity. Liam took a careful step forward. "I am sorry," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "I didn't mean to." Liam realized he could feel it in his chest as well as hear it. He relaxed slightly, though his mind remained alert. He had no idea what she wanted or why she was not reacting as he expected. Curiosity won over fear. He took another step closer, careful to move slowly. Around her, strange symbols floated in the air, glowing faintly and shifting in patterns he could not decipher. Instruments in the room responded to her presence, lights moving as if acknowledging her commands. He studied her silently, trying to understand. His training as a human explorer had prepared him for first contact with alien life, but nothing could truly prepare someone for the reality of standing before a being so unlike himself. And yet, something about her seemed gentle, inviting even. After a few tense moments, Liam took another step and spoke again. "I am Liam from Earth. I am part of the research team here. I didn't mean to intrude. I—" And then a screen flickered to life, showing something familiar, the station's own schematic, yet altered, overlaid with patterns and symbols that Liam slowly began to recognize. She was showing him something important. Liam's curiosity surged. He began to press buttons and swipe through the floating interface. His fingers brushed against alien controls, and the console responded immediately, as if it understood him. He realized that, despite the alien design, there was logic here, patterns that his human mind could follow. Slowly, painstakingly, he began to decipher the information. She watched him the whole time. There was no impatience in her gaze, only interest. Liam felt a strange mix of fear and exhilaration. Fear of the unknown, exhilaration at discovery. For all the years of human exploration and study, he had never imagined a moment like this. Minutes passed. Liam became aware of his own breathing, slow and deliberate, as he concentrated. The alien woman's eyes seemed to shine with a subtle glow, reflecting the colors of the room. He realized that the more he interacted with the devices, the more the patterns made sense. He was learning, and she seemed to approve. Then the humming shifted. It became a low, resonant tone, filling the room with vibration. Liam felt it not just in his ears, but in his chest and limbs. The symbols on the screens changed, aligning into shapes he could recognize: stars, galaxies, and swirling patterns of light. His heart raced as he realized she was showing him something much larger than the room, much larger than the station. He stepped back, amazed. You're showing me a galaxy," he whispered. Her head nodded slightly, almost imperceptibly. Liam's mind struggled to comprehend. This was no ordinary observation room. She was revealing a part of her civilization's knowledge humans had never seen before, and she had chosen to show it to him. A sudden noise echoed from the corridor outside. Liam's heart leapt. Someone was approaching. The restricted areas were strictly monitored, and his accidental entry would not go unnoticed. He looked at her, panic rising. She tilted her head again, humming softly. A warmth, almost protective, seemed to radiate from her. Trust. That was what Liam felt. Somehow she trusted him. He took a deep breath and made a decision. He would not flee, he would not panic. Instead, he focused on the interface before him, trying to understand what she was showing. The patterns shifted again, this time revealing more. A map of energy flows across a cluster of planets, diagrams of structures and devices beyond his comprehension, and finally, a symbol that pulsed with light as if calling out. He felt a spark of recognition. It reminded him of patterns in human engineering, abstract yet familiar. Slowly, cautiously, he traced the symbol on the console, watching as it reacted to his touch. A soft pulse of light spread across the room, illuminating the alien woman more clearly. Her gaze met his, and for the first time Liam felt something profound: not fear, not threat, but connection. Here, in this quiet, glowing room, human curiosity and intelligence were acknowledged by an alien mind. The realization sent shivers down his spine. The footsteps outside grew louder, echoing through the corridors. Liam knew he could be discovered at any moment, yet he stayed, mesmerized by the display and the alien presence. The woman made no move to stop him, no gesture of warning, only a soft, vibrating hum that seemed to say, "Learn if you can." He realized that humans were far from the only intelligent life in the universe, yet the alien woman treated him not as a threat, but as a worthy mind. Finally, the footsteps receded. The corridor outside returned to silence. Liam exhaled slowly, relief flooding through him. The woman's glow dimmed slightly, a gesture he took as acknowledgement that he had passed some unspoken test. He stepped back, his mind racing. "I don't understand most of this," he said softly, almost to himself. "But I want to learn." The hum faded, the symbols stabilized, and the room settled into a quiet glow. Liam's heart still pounded, but his fear had been replaced by wonder. He glanced at the alien woman once more. She did not ask him to leave. She simply waited, patient and silent, as if inviting him to continue discovering, to continue learning. And in that moment, Liam understood something deep and human. Curiosity, courage, and respect could bridge worlds. Even in the vast silence of space, with beings so unlike himself, humanity's greatest strength, its mind and heart, could make a difference. He knew he would never forget this night. He knew that the galaxy had just opened a door to him, and that, somehow, he had stepped through it. And so, in the quiet glow of the alien room, surrounded by knowledge he could barely comprehend and a being he could not yet fully understand, Liam felt a spark of hope, a spark that humans, despite their small place in the universe, could one day stand among the stars not as intruders, but as equals. He stayed there long into the night, learning, observing, and realizing that the wrong door had led him to the right moment, a moment that would change everything. Liam did not sleep that night. Even when exhaustion threatened to drag him down, he could not leave the room. The alien woman remained where she had been, quiet and calm, her eyes glowing softly in the dim light. Liam's mind raced with questions. Who was she? What was this room? What was she showing him? He cautiously approached the console again. The symbols flickered with the same gentle rhythm as before, but now he noticed new patterns emerging. The shapes formed structures, almost like cities floating in space, connected by streams of light. He could feel the sense of order, of purpose behind them. His human mind strained to understand, yet a small part of him recognized logic in the chaos. The alien woman stepped aside and gestured with her hand. A holographic screen floated in front of Liam, displaying images that seemed familiar yet alien. Planets, stars, and space stations rotated slowly, connected by lines of light. He realized she was showing him her civilization's way of observing the galaxy, a network of monitoring stations designed to study emerging intelligent species. Liam's eyes widened. You watch civilizations. You track them, he whispered. The woman's gaze was steady, calm, but there was a hint of pride in her posture. She projected another image showing planets in various stages of development. One of them resembled Earth, glowing with blue oceans and green continents. Liam's heart skipped a beat. She had observed his world. His mind worked quickly. Humans had always wondered if they were alone, and here was evidence that they were not. That realization was thrilling, terrifying, and humbling all at once. He tried to take a careful step back, but the alien woman moved to intercept him, not aggressively, but to guide. She led him to another console, smaller and more complex, filled with symbols he could not immediately understand. He hesitated. I don't know if I can read this, he admitted. The alien woman tilted her head and made a sound, low and resonant, like the hum from before. Then slowly she projected an image of a symbol he had already seen, enlarged and highlighted. It pulsed gently, almost encouragingly. Liam's fingers brushed against the controls and the console responded, forming new patterns. He realized that despite the alien design, there was logic here, patterns he could decipher if he approached it carefully. Slowly he traced shapes, following the rhythm of the light, and the console reacted. A new image appeared, a spiral of stars with small dots moving along the lines as if marking paths or trajectories. "Is this a map?" he asked softly. The alien woman nodded slightly, her eyes glowing brighter. She projected another layer of data, revealing movement patterns of objects across the spiral. Liam felt his heart race. This was knowledge beyond anything humans had, and she had chosen to show it to him. He worked quickly but carefully, analyzing the information. Even though much of it was alien, his human instincts helped him make sense of some of the patterns. He noticed recurring shapes, similar to orbital paths he had studied back on Earth. He began to sketch in his mind, comparing her symbols with what he knew from human science. Piece by piece, he understood fragments of her civilization's observations. A soft vibration filled the room. He realized it was the alien woman humming, but it felt like more than a sound. It felt like communication, encouragement, approval. He could not hear words, but he could feel understanding. Slowly he spoke again. I think I understand part of this. You track species. You observe, learn, and predict. You have studied us, he asked, astonished. She nodded, and the console responded with a series of shapes that Liam began to associate with Earth's continents. He felt a mix of awe and unease. Humanity was not alone, yet they had been under observation. There was fear of the unknown, but also wonder. Liam's mind raced with possibilities. If her civilization had been observing humans, what did they want? Were they friendly? Was this an experiment? He looked at her, trying to gauge her intent. She made no aggressive move, no sign of hostility, only calm observation. As he worked through the data, he noticed subtle warnings in the images, flickers of light that seemed to suggest danger. His instincts sharpened. Somewhere out there, beyond the room and the walls of the station, there could be threats. Perhaps her species had enemies, or perhaps humans themselves might be in danger without knowing it. The alien woman seemed to sense his thoughts. She moved closer, almost guiding him, and projected a new image, a diagram of energy flows, invisible to the naked eye, stretching across planets and stations. Liam realized these flows were like veins of power, capable of moving energy quickly across vast distances. The potential applications were staggering. Humans had never imagined anything like this. He took a deep breath. This, this could change everything, he said. His voice trembled with excitement and fear. Our scientists, our engineers, they would never believe this. Each movement produced immediate responses. It was like dancing with the unknown, a rhythm he had to learn, but one that his human mind adapted to quickly. Time became meaningless. Hours passed, though Liam could not be certain. He had entered the wrong room, expecting to be caught, scolded, or expelled. Instead, he was learning from a being so unlike himself that it seemed impossible. Yet he was not afraid anymore. He felt a strange sense of connection, as if human curiosity and intelligence had found a reflection in her mind. Then a sudden thought struck him. The station, his crewmates, what if they discovered him here? He hesitated, glancing toward the door. The corridor outside was dark, silent. No one had come. Still, he knew he could not linger forever. The alien woman seemed to sense his hesitation. She stepped aside and gestured, projecting a new sequence of symbols, a map of the station, highlighting hidden passages and access points. Liam understood. She was offering him a way to leave undetected, if needed. But more than that, she was showing trust, showing that she considered him capable of handling this knowledge responsibly. He swallowed hard. "You trust me?" he asked quietly. The hum continued, resonating through the room. It felt like affirmation, a gentle yes without words. Liam realized that trust was not given lightly, especially across species. And yet here it was, extended to him because of his actions, his curiosity, his willingness to observe and learn rather than panic. He felt a surge of pride, human pride. Humans were small in the universe, fragile and often reckless, yet here he stood, making a connection that many could never achieve. His mind worked quickly, thinking of the implications. If humans could communicate, learn, and adapt, perhaps they could rise to challenges that seemed impossible. Perhaps they were not as insignificant as the vast cosmos might suggest. Suddenly, the lights outside the room flickered. Liam's heart leapt. A patrol? A warning. He glanced at the alien woman. She remained calm, her glow steady, as if reassuring him. He nodded to himself and focused again, tracing symbols, experimenting with patterns. The lights flickered again, but the console displayed the maps fully, as if nothing had changed. He began to notice subtler details, small data streams moving along the paths she had shown him, patterns that indicated activity beyond mere observation. Some were signals, some were energy flows, some were messages. He felt his pulse quicken. This was advanced technology, far beyond anything humans had achieved, yet he could grasp fragments because of human reasoning, pattern recognition, and adaptability. He realized the alien woman was not just showing him data. She was teaching him, testing him, offering him a chance to understand and adapt. And he was learning slowly but surely. Hours passed. Liam did not feel hunger or fatigue. He was absorbed in the study, his mind sharp, his senses alert. He had entered the wrong room expecting a reprimand, yet he had found a teacher, a guide, and perhaps a future ally. Finally, as the orbital station rotated and lights shifted with the cycle, the alien woman made a subtle gesture, one Liam recognized as a closing signal. The console dimmed, the symbols froze, but the maps remained visible. She stepped back, her glow softening, her gaze steady and calm. Liam exhaled, leaning against a console, overwhelmed but exhilarated. He had learned more tonight than he could have imagined. He had seen alien technology, glimpsed another species' mind, and realized that humans had potential far beyond what they believed. Curiosity, intelligence, and courage, these qualities had carried him here and had earned the alien woman's trust. He glanced at her one last time before stepping toward the door. She did not speak. She did not command him to leave. She simply waited, silently affirming the connection that had begun tonight. And for the first time, Liam understood that humanity's place in the galaxy might be just beginning. and that their greatest strength lay in their minds, hearts, and courage. He stepped back into the corridor, carrying with him the knowledge that the universe was far bigger, stranger, and more wondrous than he had ever imagined. And he knew that this encounter, born from a simple mistake, would shape the rest of his life, and perhaps the future of humanity itself. The day after his unexpected encounter, Liam could barely concentrate. The station hummed with its usual rhythm, alarms and lights moving through the corridors, but his mind was elsewhere. Images of the alien woman, the glowing symbols, and the rotating star maps filled his thoughts. He kept replaying the lessons she had silently given him, marveling at how much he had understood in just one night. He had decided to return to the restricted room once the station seemed quiet. His curiosity had grown too strong to ignore. If she had shown him so much already, what more could he learn? He moved carefully through the corridors, aware that any patrol might catch him. His human training had prepared him for tense situations, but nothing had prepared him for the wonder he felt stepping back into that soft, glowing room. The alien woman was waiting, her presence serene as always. Liam felt a strange comfort in her calmness. She moved slightly, gesturing toward a floating console in the center of the room. He approached cautiously, his eyes scanning the data streams and symbols that had filled the room. She projected a new set of images, ones he had never seen before. They depicted a galaxy in turmoil, planets with streaks of energy being diverted, stations appearing and disappearing in what looked like rapid shifts. Liam realized quickly that this was not a simple observation. This was a warning, a story of events unfolding in real time. Something is wrong, he asked softly. The alien woman's hum deepened, almost sorrowful this time. She projected a series of images showing smaller, darker figures moving stealthily across some of the maps. Liam understood immediately. These were not observers like her. They were dangerous, rogue elements within her species. Their goal was unclear, but their intent was harmful. Liam's heart raced. The calm room, the glowing lights, and the serene alien figure suddenly felt charged with urgency. This was no longer a peaceful teaching session. Something critical was happening, and humans might be caught in the middle. He studied the images. The rogue faction seemed to be targeting energy nodes across the galaxy, some of which were near human colonies and stations. The implications were staggering. Liam's mind worked quickly. Humans were fragile compared to these beings, and yet here he was, possibly in a position to act. The alien woman projected a final set of symbols, a map of the station itself, highlighting hidden corridors and energy conduits. Liam realized she was offering him tools, guidance, and perhaps even trust, but the responsibility to act was his. He swallowed hard. I can help, can't I?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. His human training, creativity, and adaptability had always allowed him to solve problems in unexpected ways. If there was a chance to make a difference, he would not hesitate. The hum responded, rising and falling like a tide, and Liam felt an almost imperceptible nod. She was entrusting him with knowledge, with action, and with the belief that he could use it wisely. He studied the station maps, tracing hidden passages with his fingers. Using his understanding of human engineering, he began to plan. He would move carefully, avoid patrols, and find a way to alert his crew without exposing himself to immediate danger. His mind raced with possibilities. Every pattern, every symbol, every glow of light was a clue. Liam began to piece together a strategy. Hours passed as he worked. The alien woman remained near the console, her gaze following his movements. She made no sound, no gesture beyond subtle guidance, but Liam understood her intent. She trusted him to act. Humans had often underestimated themselves in the galaxy, but here he was, a single individual, using intellect and courage to confront a threat far beyond anything Earth had faced. Finally, he felt ready. He approached the console and manipulated a series of symbols. The hidden pathways of the station illuminated, revealing access points that even the station's AI might not detect easily. Liam memorized them, tracing them in his mind. Every step was calculated, every movement precise. He was no longer just a visitor in the alien's world. He was an actor in a larger plan. The soft hum of the alien woman's presence reminded him of the stakes. Her species' technology was advanced, but she had chosen to share knowledge with him. That choice alone said something profound about humanity's potential, the ability to learn, adapt, and act with intelligence and responsibility. As he prepared to leave the room, a flicker in the corner of his eye caught his attention. Another holographic display had appeared, showing a distant sector of the galaxy where energy flows were fluctuating dangerously. Liam realized with a jolt that this was where the rogue faction had begun its operations. The images suggested speed, efficiency, and precision. The threat was immediate. He turned to the alien woman, silently asking if he should proceed. Her eyes glowed softly, and the hum shifted to a rising tone, a clear sign that he should act. Liam's pulse quickened. This was his moment. He moved through the hidden corridors of the station, following the pathways she had indicated. Each step required careful timing. Patrol drones swept past at intervals, sensors scanned the halls, and automated doors threatened to block him at any moment. But Liam's human ingenuity shone through. He used shadows, timed movements, and even small tools at his disposal to avoid detection. Every decision mattered, and every mistake could be fatal. Finally, he reached a secondary console, a hub that controlled sections of the station's energy network. The rogue faction was moving faster than he had anticipated, attempting to override controls and siphon power. Liam's hands flew over the human interface, improvising connections, rerouting energy flows, and countering the alien intrusions as best as he could. The hum of the alien woman filled his mind, almost guiding him. Each action he took seemed to resonate with her, a subtle communication beyond language. He realized that their combined understanding, her advanced technology and his human creativity, was the key to survival. Minutes stretched into tension-filled eternity. Liam worked tirelessly, rerouting power, creating diversions, and safeguarding critical nodes. The rogue faction's progress slowed, then faltered. He could feel the tide turning. Human intelligence and adaptability combined with alien guidance were winning. Finally, a pulse of light swept across the station. The rogue faction had been forced to retreat, their plans disrupted. Liam exhaled, relief and exhilaration washing over him. He had done it. Alone, yet guided by the alien woman, he had outsmarted beings far more advanced than humans. He turned to her, expecting some reaction. The alien woman's glow was soft, serene. She did not speak, but her presence radiated acknowledgement and respect. Liam realized that humans, despite their seeming fragility, had qualities worth admiration: intelligence, creativity, and courage under pressure. The station settled into quiet again. Liam allowed himself a moment to breathe. He had learned more than he could have imagined. He had faced danger, made decisions under pressure, and acted with skill and precision. And through it all, he had done what humans often did best: adapt, think, and persevere. The alien woman projected a final image, a star map showing sectors of the galaxy where humans might one day explore safely, alongside notes of caution, strategy, and understanding. Liam's mind raced with possibilities. This encounter was more than an accident. It was an opportunity, a glimpse of humanity's potential, and a challenge to rise to the galaxy's expectations. He stepped back, realizing how much he had grown in just one night. The wrong door had led him to a moment of revelation, trust, and responsibility. He had faced the unknown and emerged not just unscathed but triumphant. The alien woman remained still, silent, and watchful. Liam knew that this was not the end. More challenges would come, more mysteries would unfold. But he also knew that humanity had something extraordinary: the ability to rise to any occasion, to adapt, to learn, and to act. And as he left the room, carefully retracing his steps through the hidden corridors, he understood something profound. He had not merely survived an encounter with an alien being. He had proved in a quiet but undeniable way that humans could think, act, and succeed where others might fail. That night, as Liam returned to his quarters, he carried more than knowledge. He carried a renewed sense of purpose, a spark of confidence, and the understanding that humans, though small, clever, and determined, had a place in the vast and mysterious universe. And somewhere in the station, the alien woman continued to observe, silently acknowledging that one human had made a difference. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and wonders, but for the first time Liam felt certain. Humans were ready. The station had never felt so tense. Liam moved cautiously through the corridors, his mind alert to every sound and shadow. The lessons he had learned from the alien woman the previous night guided his steps. She had given him knowledge, trust, and subtle instruction, but now the responsibility was entirely his. A larger threat loomed, one that could affect not just the station, but humans and aliens alike. He approached the secondary control hub she had shown him, the place where the rogue faction had attempted to hijack the energy flows. The console hummed faintly, the same soft resonance that reminded him of her presence. He knew that he would not be alone in this effort. The alien woman was nearby, silent but vigilant, her eyes glowing with calm intensity. Liam studied the console. Energy flows pulsed along the conduits, some diverted, some unstable. If left unchecked, the rogue faction could disrupt the station's systems, causing a catastrophic failure. He took a deep breath, allowing his training and human ingenuity to guide him. He was small in comparison to the alien technology and the threat he faced, but humans had always found ways to overcome odds. Using his understanding of human engineering, he began rerouting the energy, creating temporary loops and diversions. The alien woman projected subtle signals, guiding him but never taking control. It was a partnership, an unspoken collaboration between species, based on trust and intellect. As he worked, he realized the rogue faction's methods were precise. They were not random attackers. They had strategy, timing, and knowledge of the station's systems. Liam's mind raced. How could humans counter something so advanced? And yet, he noticed patterns in their behavior, small inefficiencies, moments where they repeated actions unnecessarily. Humans had trained for observation, pattern recognition, and improvisation, and now he would use all of that. He activated a secondary network, an improvisation using the station's own systems to create false signals. The rogue faction's instruments would detect these decoys, buying him precious time. He worked quickly, connecting circuits, realigning energy nodes, and monitoring responses. The alien woman hummed softly, her presence steadying him, almost like a mentor whispering encouragement. Minutes stretched into tense hours. Liam moved methodically, combining human adaptability with the alien guidance he received. Every decision mattered. One wrong move could alert the rogue faction or destabilize the station. Yet his human ingenuity shone through. He thought creatively, using tools and patterns in ways the aliens had not anticipated. At one point, a series of lights blinked across the console, signaling the rogue faction's advance. Liam adjusted, rerouting energy through a circuit they had overlooked. He felt a thrill of triumph. Humans were small but clever, fragile but capable of adapting and thinking ahead. His quick reasoning slowed their progress and disrupted their patterns. The alien woman moved closer, projecting a soft glow over the console. Liam realized that she was trusting him completely. Humans had often been underestimated, yet here he was, a single individual, countering a threat far beyond what anyone had expected. He felt pride and determination swelling within him. Suddenly, a system alert flashed across the console. A hidden access point had been activated by the rogue faction, and drones moved through the station's corridors. Liam's pulse quickened. He could not confront them directly. Humans were no match for advanced alien drones in physical combat, but his mind had something stronger: ingenuity. He recalled a small section of the station where energy flows intersected in complex loops. If he could redirect the power there, he could create a temporary disruption, a window to move unseen. Liam moved quickly, manipulating controls, adjusting energy streams, and monitoring sensors. The station shuddered slightly, the lights flickering, but the plan worked. The rogue drones stalled, their circuits temporarily confused by the unexpected diversion. Liam exhaled sharply. He had done it. Humans, through intelligence and adaptability, had gained the upper hand, even against a technologically superior foe. The alien woman's hum filled the room again, almost a sign of approval. He realized that their success was not just technology, it was creativity, courage, and the ability to think differently. He continued to manipulate the flows, rerouting energy to critical systems while isolating sections that the rogue faction could access. The station's infrastructure was complex, but Liam's human mind thrived on problem-solving. He saw patterns where others saw chaos, and he exploited them with precision. Each adjustment brought the system closer to stability and pushed the rogue faction back. Hours passed in tense silence. The alien woman stayed near the console, her presence a constant reminder of what trust and collaboration could achieve. Liam felt a deep sense of connection. Humans were not alone in the universe, and yet their abilities, intelligence, creativity, and courage could be recognized and valued by other species. Finally, after a tense sequence of maneuvers, the rogue faction's progress stalled completely. The energy flows stabilized and the drone ceased movement, returning to inactive status. Liam exhaled, a wave of relief washing over him. He had done it. Alone, yet guided by an alien ally, he had countered a threat that seemed insurmountable. He stepped back from the console, exhausted but exhilarated. His human ingenuity had made the difference. He had observed, analyzed, and acted with speed and creativity, proving that humans, though small and fragile, had unique strengths that could rival even advanced alien technology. The alien woman moved closer, her glow intensifying slightly. She projected a new image, showing the rogue faction retreating to distant sectors of the galaxy. Liam realized that this victory, though temporary, was significant. Humans had learned, adapted, and acted decisively, earning respect in the process. He studied the new projections. There were notes, hints of strategy, and subtle indications of areas where humans could contribute further. Liam understood the unspoken message. Humans had potential beyond what they themselves realized. Curiosity, intelligence, and courage were qualities that transcended species, and they could be used to shape the future. As the station returned to calm, Liam allowed himself a moment to breathe. He had acted under pressure, faced an advanced threat, and succeeded. His heart swelled with pride, not just for himself, but for humanity. Humans were clever, adaptable, and courageous, and those qualities had been enough to make a difference in the galaxy. The alien woman's hum softened, almost like a gentle song of approval. Liam looked at her and felt a deep sense of connection. He realized that their partnership, though silent and unspoken, had achieved something remarkable. Humans were not alone. Their minds and hearts had value, recognized even by beings far more advanced. He turned back to the console, studying the maps and energy flows once more. There was much to learn, and the alien woman had given him tools, guidance, and trust. Liam's mind raced with possibilities. Humans could explore, adapt, and contribute in ways they had never imagined. Their ingenuity was a strength, their curiosity a bridge, and their courage a force that could change the course of events. Finally, Liam stepped back from the console, exhausted but satisfied. The rogue faction had been thwarted, the station stabilized, and humans had proven themselves capable. He glanced at the alien woman one last time. She did not speak, but her presence radiated acknowledgement and respect. Liam realized something profound. Humans were small in the vast universe, but their qualities, intelligence, creativity, and courage could make them powerful allies. They could face challenges that seemed impossible, adapt to the unknown, and succeed where others might fail. That night, as he returned to his quarters, Liam carried more than knowledge. He carried confidence, hope, and the understanding that humanity's future in the galaxy could be bright. The alien woman had not just shown him technology and strategy, she had shown him the value of human potential. He lay down, staring at the viewports showing the swirling gas giant below. The stars stretched infinitely, full of mysteries and dangers. Yet for the first time, Liam felt a deep certainty. Humans could rise to meet the universe, adapt, and thrive. They had courage, ingenuity, and the ability to learn from even the most alien of teachers. And somewhere in the quiet station, the alien woman remained, observing, guiding, and acknowledging the human who had stepped into the unknown, learned quickly, and acted decisively. She had not asked him to leave, and she had not needed to. Humanity had proven itself worthy, not by force but by intellect, adaptability, and courage, qualities that could carry them far beyond the confines of a single station or a single galaxy. The station was quiet, but the silence carried tension. Liam moved through the corridors, alert to every sound. The rogue faction had retreated for now, but their presence lingered in the back of his mind. The alien woman had remained nearby during the chaos, guiding subtly but never intervening directly. Her trust in him had not wavered, and Liam felt the weight of responsibility heavier than ever. He returned to the central room, the one that had first introduced him to the alien woman and her technology. It glowed softly, as if aware of his approach. Liam stepped inside and paused, studying her form. She stood still, serene and glowing, her eyes reflecting a depth of intelligence and experience that made him both awed and determined. The consoles before him projected images of the rogue faction's movements, energy networks, and potential future threats. Liam studied them carefully. Humans had learned to adapt quickly, but the universe was vast and challenges were constant. He realized that success depended not just on action, but on understanding, strategy, and collaboration. The alien woman made a sound, low and resonant, and Liam understood it as a prompt. She was offering him the opportunity to lead, to apply everything he had learned. His human ingenuity, quick thinking, and courage would be tested once more. He began analyzing the rogue faction's patterns. Even in retreat, they left traces, energy fluctuations, sensor anomalies, and gaps in their network. Liam quickly formulated a plan. If he could use these patterns to anticipate their next moves, he could neutralize the threat without direct confrontation. Humans excelled at improvisation, strategy, and problem-solving under pressure, and he intended to use every strength they possessed. Using the consoles, Liam rerouted energy flows across the station, creating subtle traps and diversions. The rogue faction would find themselves delayed, misled, and eventually contained. Each adjustment required precision, timing, and careful observation. The alien woman hummed softly, her presence steadying him, almost as if lending silent support. Hours passed. Liam worked tirelessly, drawing on every skill, every lesson, and every instinct. The rogue faction's attempts to interfere were thwarted repeatedly, each failure increasing Liam's confidence. He realized that humans, though small and often underestimated, could compete with even the most advanced adversaries when they relied on intelligence, creativity, and courage. Finally, he initiated the last phase of his plan. Using the station's hidden circuits and energy loops, he created a containment field, temporarily isolating the rogue faction's drones and systems. The field held, and Liam watched as the faction's attempts to escape were blocked. He felt a surge of triumph, but he knew the job was not complete. The alien woman projected a series of images showing the rogue faction's retreat paths. Liam traced them carefully, predicting their next moves. He realized that total containment was possible, not through force, but through strategy, observation, and manipulation of systems, qualities humans excelled at. He activated a series of automated protocols, using the station's own mechanisms to redirect the rogue faction safely away from populated areas. Energy flows stabilized, systems normalized, and the station's alarms returned to routine levels. Liam exhaled, relief washing over him. The threat had been neutralized, not with violence but with intellect, observation, and quick thinking. The alien woman stepped closer, her glow brightening. Liam felt her presence like a gentle wave of approval. She projected an image of him standing in the center of the station, surrounded by glowing symbols of knowledge and energy. It was a recognition, an acknowledgement of his success and humanity's potential. He realized something profound. Humans were small, fragile, and often underestimated in the galaxy, yet their intelligence, adaptability, and courage made them capable of extraordinary feats. The alien woman had not intervened to save him. She had trusted him to act, to think, and to succeed. That trust, and his ability to rise to the occasion, had proven humanity's worth. Liam approached the central console once more. The star maps glowed softly, showing safe sectors for human and alien exploration. The rogue faction's activity was minimized, their influence contained, and future threats could be anticipated. Liam felt pride, not for personal glory, but for what humans could achieve when they combined courage, intelligence, and careful observation. The alien woman moved closer, her eyes reflecting the light of distant stars. She made the soft hum again, almost melodic, and Liam understood it as gratitude and acknowledgement. Humans had acted decisively, wisely, and without unnecessary aggression. They had solved a complex problem through ingenuity and strategy. He glanced at the star maps, imagining Earth far away, tiny and blue against the darkness. Humans had always wondered if they belonged among the stars, and now he realized that they did. Their ingenuity, adaptability, and determination made them worthy of a place in the galaxy, not as conquerors but as thinkers, problem solvers, and allies. The alien woman extended a hand, not touching him but projecting a symbol of guidance. Liam understood immediately. It was an invitation to continue learning, exploring, and collaborating. Humans had proven themselves, but this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast and challenges would continue, yet they could rise to meet them. Liam felt a sense of calm determination. He had learned, adapted, and acted. He had outsmarted a threat that seemed beyond his capabilities, earning the alien woman's trust and respect. He realized that humans had something unique, the ability to observe, understand, and act in ways that even advanced species could appreciate. He moved to the console and traced paths of potential exploration, imagining the future. Energy flows, star systems, and alien networks spread out before him. Each line represented opportunity, challenge, and discovery. Humans could explore, learn, and contribute in ways no one had yet imagined. The alien woman projected another series of images, showing human explorers in various distant regions, working alongside her species in mutual respect and collaboration. Liam understood the vision. Humans would not be alone, and their intelligence and courage would be recognized across the galaxy. He took a deep breath. The rogue faction was contained, the station was secure, and humans had proven themselves capable of thinking, acting, and succeeding where others might fail. His human ingenuity, combined with trust and guidance from another species, had made the difference. The alien woman's glow softened, almost as if she were smiling. Liam realized that she had not asked him to leave, not because he had overstayed his welcome, but because humans had earned the right to remain, to learn, and to participate. Trust had been extended, not granted lightly, and humanity had proven itself worthy. Liam reflected on the journey. He had entered the wrong room expecting to be scolded or expelled. Instead, he had encountered a teacher, a guide, and a test of humanity's potential. Through curiosity, observation, ingenuity, and courage, he had navigated complex systems, neutralized a threat, and earned recognition. The station hummed softly around him, lights blinking in quiet rhythm. Liam felt a sense of accomplishment but also purpose. Humans were capable, and their role in the galaxy was just beginning. The alien woman had shown him technology, strategy, and knowledge, but more importantly, she had shown him the value of human potential. As he looked at the star maps, Liam imagined the countless worlds yet to explore, the mysteries yet to uncover, and the challenges yet to face. He felt confident that humans, with their intelligence, creativity, and courage, could rise to meet them all. The rogue faction's threat was over, but the galaxy was vast, full of opportunities for those willing to learn and adapt. He turned to the alien woman. She remained silent, her presence calm and serene. Liam smiled slightly. He understood her message. Humans had proven themselves, and now it was time to continue, to explore, to learn, and to thrive. That night, as the station settled into quiet and the distant stars glittered against the darkness of space, Liam felt a profound sense of connection. Humans had entered a new chapter, one where their ingenuity, courage, and adaptability were recognized across the stars. The alien woman had not asked him to leave because he had earned a place in her trust, and through that, a glimpse of humanity's potential. He lay down in his quarters, staring at the swirling colors of the gas giant below. The galaxy was vast, full of unknowns, but he felt certain. Humans were capable. They could learn, adapt, and succeed. Their minds and hearts gave them strength, their curiosity gave them insight, and their courage gave them purpose. Somewhere in the station, the alien woman watched, silent and approving. Liam understood that this was not the end. The universe was full of challenges, but humanity had demonstrated what it could do. They had risen to the occasion, acted decisively, and earned trust. That was the essence of human potential, and it was only the beginning. As Liam closed his eyes, he felt a spark of hope and determination. Humans were ready for the galaxy. They had the intelligence to understand, the ingenuity to solve problems, and the courage to act when it mattered most. The rogue faction had been defeated, knowledge had been shared, and trust had been earned. Humanity had proven itself worthy, and the stars awaited.